So now let's try to make use of moment generating function approach to compute the average symbol error probability with maximal ratio combining. So remember what we are trying to get here is that your symbol error probability, average symbol error probability under fading is integral from 0 to infinity your PS of gamma S under AWGN, and you need to average it out over the fading distribution, and in this case you would average it out over the fading distribution or at the combiner output. So remember this PS of gamma S can manifest itself in two different ways. For differential PSK, we said that your symbol error probability for a DPSK modulation is 1/2 e to the power minus gamma b. So that kind of manifestation is C1 e to the power minus C2 gamma s. That is, your symbol error probability is nothing but an exponential function, and that is under AWGN. Similarly, you can also have this symbol error probability under AWGN as a finite integral from a to b, C1 e to the power minus C2 of x times gamma, and you would integrate over dx. So that is something we computed using the alternate form of the Q function, where you had in the alternate form of the Q function you had this integral from 0 to pi by 2, and C1 and C2 would depend on what type of modulation you are using, and then you would integrate over d phi. So that is something that we know. So these are generically represented here, PS of gamma s and PS of gamma s in terms of an integral. So either it would be an exponential function or it would be an integral of an exponential function. So let's start with the simple one, because the things would get complicated a little. So let's suppose that our symbol error probability under AWGN is given by this expression, C1 e to the power minus C2 gamma s. Now if this is your symbol error probability under AWGN, your average symbol error probability PS bar integral from 0 to infinity C1 e to the power minus C2 gamma P gamma sigma of gamma d gamma. So this thing you can think of as expected values. This is nothing but an expected value of a function of gamma sigma. So this is a function of gamma sigma. Remember, this gamma here is the gamma you would get at the combiner output. So this gamma here would be gamma 1 plus gamma 2 all the way to gamma n. So this is nothing but expected value of something which is a function of gamma sigma, right? So now remember, this gamma sigma is also in a way is already a function of gamma 1 all the way to gamma m, and if you want to compute what is the expected value of the function of gamma 1, gamma 2 all the way to gamma m, that you can compute as, so this would require not the distribution of gamma sigma, but rather it would require the joint distribution of gamma 1 all the way to gamma m, sorry. And this you can write it as integral from 0 to infinity, integral from 0 to infinity. So it would be an m-fold integral, m-fold, your function f of gamma 1, gamma 2, gamma m, times what? Times the joint distribution P gamma 1, gamma 2, gamma m of gamma 1, gamma 2 of gamma m, times d gamma 1, d gamma 2, d gamma m. So what I have done is I have opened it up. So if you have a function of capital M variables, you would and if you want to compute its expected value, so you must have an m-fold integral of the function times the joint distribution of that function. So you would be thinking that rather than making things more simpler, this MJF approach is making things more complex. So for the moment you would see that, but in a while you would see that it would really make things simple. So especially for the case of MRC, maximum ratio combining. Why? Because in MRC, your gamma sigma is nothing but summation I equals 1 to capital M gamma I. In other words, your gamma sigma is gamma 1 plus gamma 2 plus gamma 3 and so on. And your function of gamma 1, gamma 2 all the way to gamma M, which by the way is equals to C1 e to the power minus C2 times gamma sigma, that would be equals to C1 e to the power minus C2 times gamma 1 plus gamma 2 all the way to gamma M. Another thing that you must notice or must keep in mind is that this is a joint distribution of gamma 1 all the way to gamma M, and all of these random variables gamma 1 all the way to gamma M are independent to each other, and because they are independent to each other, this joint distribution would be simply the product of the individual marginal distributions. So using these two facts, the first one, this fact, the f of gamma 1 all the way to gamma M is nothing but C1 e to the power minus C2 times the sum of these random variables, and the fact that this joint distribution would be the product of the marginal distribution, you can compute this average, the expected value which we are trying to compute. So let's see how it simplifies things. So remember, this average is nothing but your average symbol error probability, right? And this average symbol error probability would be equals to integral from 0 to infinity, integral from 0 to infinity, your f of gamma 1 all the way to gamma M, that means that would be C1 e to the power minus C2 times gamma 1 plus gamma 2 plus gamma M times the joint distribution, and as we saw that this joint distribution would be the product of the marginal distributions. So let me write it as P gamma 1 of gamma, P gamma 2 of gamma 2, P gamma M of gamma M, D gamma 1, D gamma 2, D gamma M. So this and this integral is m-fold. And now because of this this property, that this exponential where the sum of random variables is appearing, you can represent this as a product of capital M exponentials. So that can help. So this you can write it as integral from 0 to infinity, integral from 0 to infinity, and you would write it in terms of product of I equals 1 to capital M, C1 e to the power minus C2 times gamma I times P gamma I. So that's where this you would have P gamma 1, P gamma 2, so that's also product of capital M terms. So now once you have this, you can now interchange the order of the integration and the product. So you have capital M, so this is an m-fold integral, and in an m-fold integral you are taking the product of these individual terms. Once you interchange the order of the product and this integration, so you would only have one integral to deal with. So rather than representing it as an m-fold integral of a product, we would represent it as a product of an m-fold product of one integral. So that you can write it as product I equals 1 to M. Once you have changed the order of the integration and the product, times integral from 0 to infinity C1 e to the power minus C2 gamma I p gamma I, right? And then now you can see that where this MGF approach would kick in. So this integral on the right hand side is nothing but a moment generating function of the PDF of gamma I. So this you can write it as product I equals 1 to capital M C1 times M gamma I of minus C2. This is nothing but the moment generating function where S is replaced by minus C2. So this is your PS bar. So this is a very, very important result that you can compute. So given that your symbol error probability was an exponential function to start with, your average symbol error probability under any type of fading under maximal ratio combining can be written as a product of capital M moment generating functions, right? And that is a very, very important result. And if you don't have this exponential assumption to begin with, that in other words, if you're talking about linear modulation schemes, and for linear modulation schemes, for example, if you have your symbol error probability as an integral of an exponential, then you can also represent. So now, if right, so this was for P S of gamma S as equals to C1 e to the power minus C2 gamma S. So this was this result. If instead of this, if you have PS of gamma S as integral from A to B, C1 e to the power minus C2 of X times gamma dx, right? So this is a generic form of the symbol error probability that is represented for linear modulation schemes using the alternate Q function representation. So if that is what you have to begin with, then instead of this average symbol error probability, you would have this average symbol error probability would be integral from A to B times this product I equals 1 to capital M C1 M gamma I of minus C2 of X dx. So this would be an integral, a finite integral of a product of capital M moment generating functions, right? So that is how convenient your representation or computing the average symbol error probability for any type of fading. So the power in this analysis is that this moment generating function is not limited to Rayleigh fading. So if you're talking about Rayleigh fading, then you would plug in the moment generating function for the Rayleigh fading, that is 1 over 1 minus S times gamma bar. If you're talking about Rician fading, then you would plug in the moment generating function. For the Rician fading, if you're talking about Nakagami M fading, you can plug in the moment generating function for the Nakagami M fading. So this is the power. Again, we have seen the power in the moment in the analysis done by the moment generating function approach, and this allows you to compute or represent the average symbol error probability either as a product of capital M moment generating functions or an integral, a finite integral of capital M moment generating functions that can be computed numerically with ease. So that is the power in the moment generating function approach.